end of an era? New York Giants look like one of NFL's worst teams. The New York Giants were supposed to be a championship-contending team in 2017. Or at worst, a playoff-contending one, after winning 11 games during their first season under head coach Ben McAdoo. They were supposed to have an offense that could mask the deficiencies of Eli Manning, their 36-year-old quarterback who looks about a year older every week. The offseason additions of wide receiver Brandon Marshall and tight end Evan Engram would, in theory, compensate for any fading arm strength. They were supposed to be an NFC East powerhouse again, and not an unwatchable embarrassment. But that's where they've sunk to now, with the latest blow being a 24-10 loss to the Detroit Lions on Monday night. Now with every passing week, offense just isn't a thing for the Giants, and it's becoming harder to imagine a future when their contending status returns. Instead, a much different and darker end to 2017 is forming. The one where they descend to become one of the NFL's worst teams, and the Manning era starts careening toward a rocky conclusion. Manning will shoulder the blame for some of the spiral. That happens to any quarterback, and especially one who throws an interception on a poorly placed ball one play after his defense created a fumble and took potential points off the board. Manning did that in the second quarter Monday, and the quality field position he gifted the Lions led to a touchdown. But really, there's only so much Manning can do when checkdowns and screens are his only options, and taking more than about 2 seconds to look downfield is hazardous to his health. Trying that usually resulted in an unfriendly greeting from Detroit Lions defensive end Ziggy Ansah, as Pro Football Focus noted. Giants left tackle Ereck Flowers was merely a minor nuisance for Ansah, who finished with 3 sacks. Flowers stumbled and staggered around all evening while Manning's pocket collapsed. Flowers was there only as a large body to be pushed aside or simply run over. He did his part to contribute to the 5 sacks Manning took and the constant state of panic the Giants' passing offense is suffering. Manning has now been sacked 8 times over 2 games, which has led to gutter-level production in every sense for a Giants offense that scored 1 touchdown and 13 points. Manning has averaged only 6.6 yards per attempt, and with pressure consistently getting home, defenses have been able to focus on stopping an already mediocre rushing offense. Consequently, the Giants have logged only 90 rushing yards in 2 weeks. Often, the true measure of a team in decline is when an already existing source of awfulness is made worse by easily avoidable mistakes. And the Giants had plenty of those in their loss to the Lions. The most maddening was a sequence that sucked the oxygen away right when the Giants' offense had finally started to stretch its arms and wake from a slumber. Mercifully, that happened early in the third quarter, and the Giants had advanced all the way to Detroit's 1-yard line after a 17-yard pass to Marshall. Suddenly, they had 3 tries to get 1 measly yard and to cut the Lions' lead to 3 points. Then just as suddenly, that opportunity vanished due to self-inflicted wounds. First, guard Brett Jones moved his offense back 10 yards with a holding penalty. That killed momentum, but the touchdown was still easily within reach. The Giants clawed back to the 2-yard line on 4th down, which is when McAdoo looked at his offense, or the complete lack of it, and decided to keep pushing. Then the play clock ticked and kept ticking. In an astounding lack of awareness, it was allowed to reach double zeros, and the Giants were moved back 5 yards by a delay of game penalty at a crucial, game-defining moment.